And now for the latest update from the activities inside the Parliament building in Senayan, Jakarta. We go live to TVRI's mini studio for tonight's highlights of the 1999 General Assembly with TVRI's Eko Junor.
Good evening, I'm Eko Junor, broadcasting live from Parliament with the latest updates on the General Assembly. The draft state guidelines is still under discussion by Commission A's formulating team. The team to date has contributed 14 new items for the improvement to the draft. The guidelines, which was originally drafted by ad hoc committee, is still undergoing revision. Commission A, led by Wijanarko Puspoyo, is considering inputs by members and the Indonesian Agribusiness Society Forum. According to the Secretary of the Agribusiness Club, Tony Cristianto, agribusiness should be at the core of national development and should be the main contributor in building a strong maritime and agrarian nation. In the past 2 years, in economic crisis, agribusiness has survived and even progressed. It is also improving the welfare of those working in the industry. Commission B, chaired by Sabam Sirait, today continued its discussion on non-state guidelines issues, including 11 draft decrees. Strong comments were raised concerning the resolution towards problems in Aceh and about national reconciliation.
H.M. Kaban of the Reform faction raised the issue of the necessity to develop agriculture. The facts are that while the nation's economy staggers, the agricultural sector is performing to pull the nation out of its prolonged economic crisis. Therefore, farmers should be assisted to extend farming land and agricultural laws should be reformed. Concerning Commission B deliberations to resolve the severe disputes occurring in Aceh, Irian Jaya and East Timor, the Commission's chairman, Sabam Sirait, said,
we have the same conscience about Aceh and Irian Jaya. We have the feeling we are very sorry. Every member of this MPR have the same feeling. We must have to make a decision how to solve that problem. Only the problem is the time, the budget is the limit of our time. But we have no differences among the member of this MPR about that.
When asked whether Aceh will become like East Timor, Hasbullah Saad replied,
No, I think not enough reason to compare Aceh and East Timor because we have a different background, have different political situation, different culture, different so many differences between Aceh and Timor. But we need justice. We need stop violation in Aceh. We need to consider about the aspiration of Aceh. That's why we want to get one decision here from House of Representatives in order to give opportunity, to give instruction for the government to dealing with problem of Aceh by peaceful solution. We want to stop any violation in Aceh. We lose too much.
Commission C, which is working on amendments to the Constitution, reports that it has completed its review on 85% of the material provided by the MPR Working Committee. This afternoon, the Commission was discussing amendments to the articles on the President's authority.
The other 3 articles currently being reviewed are the appointment of ambassadors and consuls, on the establishment of government departments, and on presidential authority to formulate draft decrees. The previous article on the President's authority to formulate a draft decree stated that the President has the power to formulate a draft decree and obtain approval of the House of Representatives. The proposed amendment to the article states that only Parliament has authority to formulate a draft decree, but the President has the right of input. Regarding the requirement that only a pure Indonesian may be a president, The draft amendment states that a pure Indonesian is defined as a third-generation Indonesian citizen.
Commission D, which was responsible for bringing to a conclusion the controversial issue of the Presidential Accountability Report following deadlock, will forward the matter to the full session of Parliament convening tomorrow morning.
Today, Commission D of the People's Consultative Assembly, chaired by Yusuf Muhammad of the National Awakening Party, could not continue its meeting due to deadlock between the 11 factions. Therefore, its members were determined to bring the matters to the 12th plenary session, where the members of Parliament must decide how to determine whether or not to accept Habibi's Presidential Accountability Report. The deadlock occurred after the Commission members, representing the 11 factions, could not come up with a mutually acceptable solution. Now that the decision has been left to the plenary session, it is very likely that a vote will take place. Whether by open or closed ballot is not known. In the last plenary session, 4 of Parliament's 11 factions rejected the report outright, and the other 7 were vague at best. According to Golkar member Fahmi Idris, his party is prepared for an open vote.
Yang keempat, yang terakhir, Komisi D mengusulkan agar keputusan ini selanjutnya ditetapkan dalam sebuah rantap.
A huge crowd gathers at the Hotel Indonesia roundabout today to get the latest information about what is happening there. Our reporter Nanang Purwono will report live from the site. Go ahead, Nanang.
Live here from the Hotel Indonesia traffic circle. I would like to inform you about the latest situation which happens here in the circle. As you can see right now, the rain is falling and it's all make the situation and all the street becomes wet. As if that is like sweeping all the dirt and the political tension which grew up here in the Hotel Indonesia traffic circle. As you can see that the traffic in this circle area is back to normal after the crowd who are supporters of the political parties left the place about an hour ago. According to some people that I can meet this afternoon, that the crowd began to flock to this area, which is in front of the Hotel Indonesia in the morning. And by 12 and 1 o'clock this afternoon, the crowd totally filled the site. The cloudy sky, which blankets Jakarta, especially over the traffic circle here, pleased all the participating people in the rally. Orations and banners were highlighted by the crowd who come from Jakarta and outside Jakarta. The situation gave also advantages to street vendors who are actually forbidden to sell their items. A street vendor whom I met today also said that he was very pleased and happy since he could sell all his items faster. Well, viewers, and we hope that this situation by having rain is really helping to cool down the situation here by having a look at now the traffic is getting smoother. Nanang Purwono reporting live from the Hotel Indonesia traffic circle, and we go back to the studio.
Thank you, Nanang. MPR Decree number 6 of 1978 on the status of East Timor was discussed today by Parliament's Commission B. For the views and opinions of Parliament members, Chut Shahnaz has details.
Erna Witular, Commission B's vice chairperson, said that the decision of Commission B must take into consideration the interests of both pro-integration and pro-independence groups. As East Timor's very sensitive matters, the Commission needs to handle the issue with great care. We have here with me Mrs. Erna Witular. She is the vice chairman of the Commission B. Mrs. Erna, can you explain in detail about the East Timor ballot?
Yes, we are now in the process of the drafting group for the draft decree on the follow-up of the East Timor ballot. Yeah. It has been a very difficult process. Yeah. Even during these last days, even during the working group, they were discussing it several days. Yesterday in our commission also, and now we are trying very hard to make the balance. Yeah, on one hand we respect the decision of the East Timorese people to refuse integration. But on the other hand, we also recognize the cultural rights, for instance, of the East Timorese people, both that are still inside and that are being refugees outside. We are also worried about the safety, about the rights of those people, and so we are now trying to formulate the right demand of the National Assembly to the next cabinet, next president, on what it is that they have to do as a follow-up of the ballot, including also diplomatic negotiations on several things.
Meanwhile, Abdul Ghafur of Golkar had this to say.
According to the New York Agreement, that after the popular consultation, and we have known already the result of that, and that this MPR should take action regarding the MPR decree number 6, 1978, on the integration of East Timor. As you know, that the integration process, East Timor to Indonesia, then our MPR session in 1978, they decided we accepted the integration of East Timor. Now, the result of the popular consultation based on the New York Agreement has been done, and we know the result already, and now the function of this People Assembly, what to do with that decree of MPR. And deliberation has been taking place already, and we know that the majority here, they understand our commitment with the international agreement. So, of course, I think we have to revoke.
This is Shahnaz, Bambang Eko, and Sigit reporting from the Parliament building.
Commission B completed 5 draft decrees to be forwarded to the 12th plenary session. The 5 draft decrees are General Assembly Rules and Procedures, Rules for the Election of the President and Vice President, Swearing-in Procedures for the President and Vice President, and East Timor. On the East Timor issue, all the 11 factions unanimously accepted the results of the popular consultations of August the 30th, 1999. Tia Mariadi reports.
Commission B of the MPR, discussing matters of non-state policy guidelines, has drafted 5 draft MPR decrees to be given to the 12 plenary sessions to be adopted tomorrow. Among one of the decrees is the decree on East Timor. Commission B has prepared 2 alternatives for MPR decree number 6/MPR/1978, which integrated East Timor as a province of Indonesia. Alternative 1 is to accept the results of the referendum, but delay the lifting of decree number 6 due to a number of considerations. Alternative 2 is also to accept the results of the referendum and revoke decree number 6, giving the new president the authority to deal with it further. The 2 alternatives will likely be voted on the plenary session tomorrow. Basilio Araujo, spokesperson for the Front for Nation Unity, who is currently an observer at the MPR General Session, comments.
We see that it might be difficult for MPR to maintain in its position not to revoke this MPR decree, but we also understand that Habibi has made a mistake, and now the nation has to suffer this consequence. But now what we're trying to build is the awareness of this country that please do not relate ourselves as the colonizer of East Timor.
Abilio Araujo pointed out that in the president's second speech, he justified his action in releasing East Timor based on the preamble of the Constitution, which states freedom is the right of all nations. But Araujo says if this was true, then Habibi is saying that Indonesia has colonized a foreign country, East Timor.
We think that it should be not the pro-integration forces or the pro-integration people who should be blamed, but it should be the United Nations who should be blamed, because it was because of their negligence that we, the East Timorese, now are suffering.
From the whole population of 800,000, 270,000 people have fled East Timor and are now refugees in Atambua and Kupang, East Nusa Tenggara. Araujo said that regardless of the outcome of MPR on East Timor, his Front for Nation Unity will continue their fight to keep East Timor a province of Indonesia.
The East Indonesian University Students Forum, led by Muhammad Hasbi of Hasanuddin University and Fakhruddin Tukuoya of the Maluku Development Studies Forum, expressed their support for B.J. Habibi as president for the next term.
The students from East Indonesia are distressed by the recent violent student protests. They are concerned by the rallies organized by Forum Kota, Forkot, and the University Forum for Reform and Democracy, FAMRED, seen broadcasted nationwide on television. They have traveled from 4 provinces to Jakarta in order to condemn the violence used in support of a presidential candidate. Meeting with Golkar faction members Fahmi Idris and Freddy Latuchomsina, the East Indonesian University Student Forum say their reason for supporting President Habibi. They say that he possesses the appropriate qualities including trustworthiness, honesty and leadership, and that he is democratic, possesses a clear mission and vision, and is capable of building an international network.
Gerakan itu merupakan bagian-bagian dari Indonesia, bukan cuma Jakarta.
At the Parliament building, the post office inaugurated a new customized stamps, which they call the Prisma stamp.
Of the 125th anniversary of the Universal Postal, Indonesia's postal service has launched Prisma stamps. Prisma stamps are customized stamps that can be a portrait of yourself or your own logo. Picture is taken by a digital camera and computerized. Your pictures is then printed out on the brand new 100 rupiah stamps. The customized stamps uses a secure printing technology and prints on a special security paper. According to Andang Wijaya, manager of Central Jakarta Post Office, the launching of the unique Prisma stamps aims to vitalize the world of philately in Indonesia and to promoting the purchase use of stamps. Prisma stamps are expected to appeal to teenagers and others who are attracted by innovation. For those who are willing to send a letter with a picture of you linked to a stamp, just visit the nearest post office. If you wish to use postal stamps bearing your picture or logo, just go to your local post office with a picture.
And now we take a look at what's on tomorrow's schedule here at the Assembly. From 9 in the morning till 11 a.m., the 12th plenary meeting. From 1400 hours, the 12th plenary meeting will be continued. From 1900 hours are the faction meetings, and beginning 8 p.m. is the 13th plenary session. And that's the end of our highlights from TVRI's mini studio at the Parliament building. Now we return to Studio 10 with Ria Murdani and Tengku Malinda for more reports.
And that was Eko Junor from the MPR building. In the midst of the country's economic turmoil, the income of the Rattan Trust craftsmen in Cirebon, West Java has surprisingly increased. In the Cirebon Regency, the rattan industry is an inherited business. The people's special expertise in producing handicrafts from rattan, especially home furnishings, is a special skill. With today's economic difficulties, this skill has been able to improve the people's welfare. According to Nurazman, head of the Estu Agung Abadi, a group of craftsmen which helps in developing the production of handicraft and furniture in the area, said that handicraft export items as well as rattan furnitures from Cirebon has grown mostly to Western Europe. Indonesia has a large of rattan to be developed. This proves that even local raw materials can survive during the economic crisis. It is important to develop the country's potentials and avoid using foreign materials. And that concludes tonight's edition of TVRI News. Be sure to join us tomorrow evening for more news and information only on TVRI. I'm Ria Murdani.
And I'm Tengku Melinda. Thank you for joining us and
good night.